is the host from the show Loving Education, America's favorite administrator, Anton Anthony, in Waynesboro, Georgia at Blakeney Elementary School. And guess who it is, everyone? It's my mentor, Earl Ishmal, the man that taught me everything, the man that I look up to. He's my mentor, and actively, this is the one I talked about in my book. If I need anything, I can call him and he'll tell me exactly what I need to know. Matter of fact, I called him today. And guess who I have? Mr. Ishmal. Man, thank you so much for letting me come here in your offices and interview you today. I appreciate you, man. First of all, before I let you say anything, I thank you for giving me the gifts and the tidbits of knowledge that every time I call you, you're there for me, man. And I appreciate you. I want to say that in front of everybody in the world for who you are, you know what I mean? So first thing, we're not going to take up too much of your time, Mr. Ishmal. I want to ask you a couple questions. I've been with you for a while. Matter of fact, I've known you probably about 7, 8 years or so. And I work with you, so I'm a testament of being in your building and being under your leadership. So I seen one thing, how you took a alternative school, which was the worst school in our district. I'm from here, raised in Waynesboro, Georgia, and I saw an alternative school that I was afraid of. And up under your leadership, you turn it like a magnet school. So my question for you, sir, is how? How did you do that?
First, I want to say I'm humbled that you took the opportunity to come and interview me, as well as to say that you consider me your mentor, and I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. I don't take that light. To the alternative school, first of all, when it goes back to anything, everything is about expectations as well as connotations. And so immediately when I got there to Burke County Alternative School, it was in a very nice community, older established community, but nice, still the same. You had a bunch of older retired family members living in that area. And so when we look at things like that, if you were living in a community, I always say, what I want an alternative school in my community. The term alternative school in the South automatically draws a negative connotation. And so not only does it do to the people around it in the community, but the kids that's coming in the building. Because you have given them a label. And so the thing is, a lot of times we cannot detach ourselves from labels.
Right.
And so we become what you tell me I am. And so immediately I start to thinking about what can we do, how can we change this name of this school. And so, I don't know if you remember now, I put it out in the school, we want to change the name of the school. And I want to say Miss McPherson or someone, we kind of got together and came up with that name, Burke County Academy of Success.
Right.
And so I petitioned the board to change the name of the school. And the reasons was to change the mindset of the children in the building, but not only the children, the adults.
Right.
And so in order to get a culture shift, everybody has to change their mindset.
Right. And I remember it was in the media center, and you asked everyone. So I kind of took a piece of ownership when he asked us and said, hey, what do you think the name should be? So it was a buy-in for me as an employee. It was a buy-in from everyone else, all the teachers and a para, because that's who he gets the name from, the para in the building. So I felt like I owned a piece of that. I felt that it was my school. When I walked into the building, I felt like I deserved to be in a place that was different, that was new, and the kids deserve the same thing. So my next thing is that was different. You see these things, and I seen at Ron Clark Academy, I visited, and the kids, they wear the blazers, they wear the shirts with their name branded on. And when you walk into the alternative school, well, Burke County Academy of Success, the kids had the patches on their blazers, and it was nice. How did you pay for it out of your pocket, or how did you get these kids their own blazers for the school?
Once again, that was part of the culture shift. And so the newspaper came down and did an article on me after we changed the name of the school and just asked about some things that we were doing. And I said, well, the next goal that I have for the school is to get blazers for all the children. Fortunately, True Citizen ran that in the newspaper. Mr. Jesse Palmer picked it up at First National Bank and gave me a call and said not only will he make the donation, he would purchase all the blazers for us, which was super. And what people don't realize is when you have kids that come from various communities, as we have in Waynesboro, that normally have these neighborhood beefs, and so they bring that to school with them. But so when the blazer is representative of a transition, so you no longer have to be the tough guy when you walk into the Academy of Success. Right. Now you become a student, but you all become a student in one place. And so everybody is a friend
right.
when they come in there. And so once you take your jacket off and put that blazer on, you're no longer in the community.
Right.
You know, you're part of this new community, and that's the Academy of Success.
Right. One thing that I remember, and I know he probably does, but he went from a total mindset of the students to the staff. This is how we welcome kids in. He don't even remember this. He brought a speaker on intake every morning, and we were jammed every morning. And our mindset, I knew I wanted to come to work, and this is how I know that I love going to work, and I love going to work for you, because every morning I knew it was going to be a laugh, it was going to be something fun. And even though I was working at alternative school, I would search kids, but I was jamming. And then we would laugh, they would change out their jackets, their mindset would be different. And I just thought that was amazing. I still think it's amazing to this day. Sometimes I go to sleep, how in the world you could change an alternative school into a magnet school mindset. And that was just amazing, man. And I tell everybody, and this is the reason why I wanted to interview you, because I wanted the world to see that just because you're going into a neighborhood with all black kids or urban neighborhood and kids that can't read, but you can change their mindset of going into this school, but making a safe place and a safe haven to change everything about them. It changed from their mindset to academics. So that was our focus, and I appreciate you for changing. And it's still, when you leave, good leadership, it leaves an imprint. And you know, it was named Burke County, still Burke County Academy of Success, if you go and look it up, because of, you know, great leadership. My thing that you want to say anything, sir?
Well, I just think that's because of us, everybody there.
Yeah.
But the purpose of the music is, the thing is, if you come to work and you enjoy it, you're going to always get your best results.
Yep.
Well, once we fell into it and we're happy, well, that immediately rubs off on the children.
Right.
It's like osmosis. You know, once they come in, they see us in a good, it's hard to be in a bad mood when somebody says good morning to you every morning. It's hard for you not to learn to say good morning back in return when someone says it to you every morning. Absolutely. Even if that's not something you normally hear in your household, well, I know I'm going to get it there. And so that makes kids want to come to school because they know they're loved and it's genuine. Right. Now, it's tough love at times. You know, as my discipline coordinator, it was plenty of days we had to pull out the powder, but you know, it was all out of love. And the thing is, it's not for punishment, but it's to change the behavior. Right. And so that's what we have to look at it as. And everything was a mindset, everything was a culture change, everything was done to change behaviors, you know, to keep kids safe and to make them successful.
One thing that you were big on is the relationships, and this is not just for admins, it's for teachers as well. Just as he changed the mindset of all of us in the building, you have to change that mindset of the students that's in your classroom. Every day that you see them, you should greet them with a smile. You should change their mindset because it's contagious. He started with the contagiousness of being excited, having the music. It trickled down to me as a discipline coordinator, as a teacher in the building. It trickled down to the students, but it trickled down to all the teachers. So when they even got to the door, the teachers were in a good mood, so they were ready to teach. They were ready to teach each and every day. So it's not just an admin. He's not one of those, and I'm not just one of those admins that we sit in and we don't know what's going on in the building. But it has to start top down. So administrators, this is for you. Teachers, this is for you. And parents, we even want you to know that our mindset changed at the school, so you know that you were sending your kid in a great environment each and every day. Each and every day. One thing that I put in my book, that one of the things that I was kind of sad over when you left. And so I was looking to advance in different ways to kind of take those techniques that I learned from you and apply those in my own buildings. So when you moved to a bigger school. Now we're at Blakeney Elementary, and I don't know about your demographic. Could you tell me anything?
Right at 900. 900.
That's a pretty large elementary school when you only have 3 grades. So what do you do, and how do you attribute the growth, academic success? When I think about academic success, I think about the kids producing at high levels. When you don't have kids that's always at level 1s, you know, we want to focus on moving kids for growth. So what do you attribute to your academic success here as principals of Blakeney Elementary School?
First and foremost, it starts with people.
Absolutely.
You know, your personnel in the building. You know, you've got to get that straight first, because you cannot be academically successful with people that don't want to work for you. Right. And so I tell people all the time, you have to be careful when you're so loyal to the person versus the position. Right. See, you should be loyal to the position as well as your craft. So when the leader changes,
right.
you're not so bent out of shape that you don't want to work for this new leader, because my craft is to teach children.
Right.
My craft is to educate children.
Right.
So it does not matter who's in this chair.
Right.
The fact is, I'm coming for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you see that you don't have that, and you're never going to get 100%, but what you have to do as a leader, most of my first year is a year of observation.
Right.
I really see what's going on. You implement small things, but they know the person that you are. And so if you stand firm, a lot of times it'll take care of itself, because people will leave that building because they know the old regime is gone and no longer can I just have my way.
Right.
And the thing is, I think if you're a great teacher and you've been told you're a great teacher, you've been getting great scores, well, if you're the greatest in the building, you should teach our children who have the largest needs
right.
in the building. I don't think the greatest teacher should just teach.
Yeah,
I think you should have a mixture.
Absolutely.
And so everybody's not conditioned to do that, nor do they want to do that, because it's unfair to teachers who, for years, have always taught what we consider at-risk kids, because you go home burned out every day, you're dealing with discipline and such large deficiencies until you're just completely worn out
right.
every single day, versus a teacher that teaches gifted a lot of times. It's calm and refreshed when you go. They don't really deal with a lot of discipline, and the kids are coming, they're eager to learn, and a lot of them will, whether you teach them or not, they're gonna go ahead and pass the test right. anyway, because they've got it from home.
You're intrinsically motivated.
Exactly, that's exactly right. But something else we saw, once we start really looking at the data, and that's the second part, once you get your personnel together, you got to really look at your data. Well, I start looking at the data, and even though the gifted teachers had high achievement, they had extremely low growth. And see, the key was, when you look at your teachers who taught at-risk kids, they had extremely low achievement, but extremely high growth. So these teachers had been looked upon as the bad teachers for years, and the poorly educated teachers, but in turn, they were really the best in the building.
Right.
Because it's easy to get achievement with high achieving kids, absolutely. But you were not getting growth. Right. And so what I saw when I created a mixture, these teachers that had taught those at-risk kids had developed so many more tools. Mm-hmm. And so they could deal with any population, versus a lot of my teachers who had only taught gifted struggled when I gave them an at-risk class. Right. And so when you're not exposed to certain things, it really hurts you in the long run. So that's why I think administrators should always give a good mix of children to each teacher. And you should be flexible. Something else I do, I don't mind changing grade levels. I change teams if I don't feel the dynamics are working. And so this has been my room for 20 years. Well, it won't be 21 under my administration. But that's just part of it. And so you take them out of their comfort zone. And anybody that goes out of their comfort zone has to learn the things. Right. And so they will come back and tell you, I appreciate you doing that. You've made me a better teacher. Right. Because I had been teaching this subject, this grade, for the last 20 years, the exact same way. And so that's why you don't see growth in your building, because you've gotten comfortable. I know what I'm doing. And so you don't really, you don't have to focus again. Right. You're no longer the student. You've always been the guru. But when you change and do something new, you have to become the student again.
Yes, absolutely. So that's two things that if you listen to him, even he said the relationship with people, that's the climate. Even when you walk into a school, parents, first thing you see is the secretary. If the secretary treats you, raggedy or say mean things to you, it goes with the climate of the school. So he said people. He didn't say just teachers. He said everyone. So custodians as well. So it's building that relationship, changing the climate as he did at the alternative school, and on this level here, and also letting the data drive the building. So you can read it in a book, but this man is living proof. He's walking proof, and that's why he's my mentor, because he knows these things. And any time that I called, he's able to share. That's what's wrong with a lot of people today. They're not able to share now, and it's a big thing that's even growing now. Collaboratives, because teachers are learning from other teachers. And admins, need to learn from other admins, but not just in certain states, but I think across the world. So this is the reason why I wrote a book. This is the reason why I'm doing this show, because I want somebody to look at this in the UK, in schools in Africa, you know, in schools in South America, and now not only just the U.S., but everywhere across the world, and learn how collaboration works with teachers, it works with admins, it works with everyone. Parents need to collaborate with other parents to figure out what's working with their children. So, Mr. Ishmael, man, I thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'll be calling you, of course, throughout my life. But I just thank you again, man, because it takes a person, and I know how busy you are, to make time for your little brother. And this means the world to me. So thank you, man. I appreciate you.
I appreciate it.
Anything else you want to say?
I just want to say, you know, God has truly blessed me.
Yeah.
You know, I tell people I'm the Tiger Woods of education. And I say that because Tiger Woods' father introduced him to golf at such a young age, where my mother, being a retired principal, introduced me to education at a young age.
Absolutely.
So I started taking at-risk college trips at about 4 years old.
Wow.
Going to Fort Valley,
Fort Valley.
Benedict, Voorhees, and things of that nature, introducing these kids to college that normally would not go. And so she shaped me.
Yeah.
I don't know if she truly knew she was shaping me at the time to take her position, but that's what I did. And so she also showed me how to bring people together, and that was just, you know, a family thing. You've been to a number of things at, you know, my family's house, you know, and the thing is, it's very important to have family. So, you know, I now have the best custodial staff in the district, the best cafeteria staff, the best P department, the best sped department, the best admin department. We have the best here at Blakeney, and when this report card comes out, you'll see. So, you know, it's just been a blessing. I'll be honest with you.
So I think most importantly, I think that's the reason what makes you a good leader, because it takes a family. And coming down from your family, I've been at your family gathering, and I felt like family. Anytime I go to his mom house, I felt like I'm a part of the family. Even when I meet his mom, she greets me with the kiss. And this is what it feels like to work with him, because I felt like it wasn't just I'm his employee. I felt as if I was his family. So I think that's the key of moving a building, moving kids academically. They have to feel like, even the students have to feel like your mom. So they're not going to disrespect their mom, so they're not going to disrespect you as the teacher. So treat your classrooms like a family, treat your buildings like a family, and you'll see growth. I do believe that. So again, man, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hey, I'm your host from the show, Loving Education, America's favorite administrator, Anton Anthony. Be blessed.